Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Jurassic Live Dino Dex series, where I create new concepts for creatures, buff creatures, nerf creatures, and episode 1 was me nerfing creatures, episode 2 was me creating new concepts, and now I'm going to be buffing 4 low tyrant creatures that need a buff. So, if you're excited, then like and subscribe. I'm getting close to 800 subscribers, guys. Thanks for the support, and let's get into the video. And coming in at the first of the 4 creatures, I buffed Dilosarian. So, I have buffed quite a bit on Dilosarian. So, resistances have not changed, but neither have stats. Group Wily Strike, Alert, Blighted Impact, and Run, Darted Counter, and Evasion on Escape have not changed. The only things that have changed are 2 of its main skills and its swapping. So, Nullifying Rampage is now Revenge Nullifying Rampage. Should I start by saying, this buff ideally makes Dilosarian from a mediocre revenge killer to a top tier revenge killer, and even a nice viable swapping. So, Nullifying Rampage has been changed to Revenge Nullifying Rampage. So, it just like, with Revenge, it does that, but it only has a cooldown of 1, so instead of 2, which is a bit better. And then we have a change to Vengeful Defensive Stance. Nothing has been added to the normal move apart from the delay. So on Alert, there is no more delay, but it is still cooldown 2. Then we have the On Revenge, which makes it a top tier revenge killer. You target yourself, you gain a shield for 3 turns, 4 attacks, invincible. Yep, that's all the same. Then you target the opponent. You reduce their armor by 50%, 1 turn, 1 attack. Then you do a devastation, 3 times damage, and you also bypass dodge, making this creature a much stronger revenge killer. And now for a swap-in, I've given it a new swap-in. This is called the Swap-in Weakening Shield. You target yourself, you gain a shield for 1 turn, 2 attacks, a little nice bonus. Then you target the highest damage you inflict by 50%. Weakening dodge is only 25%, can I just say, for 1 turn. This one is 50% for 2 turns. Then you reduce their damage by 50% for 2 turns, reduce their speed by 25% for 2 turns, and then you're obviously locked in yourself. Honestly, this makes Dilosarian from, like, kind of, I don't know, a mediocre revenge killer in a low tyrant to easily putting it at the top of mid tyrant. Again, I don't aim for like these buff creatures to be like top of high tyrant automatically. Dilosarian, if this buff was actually added to the game, it wouldn't be the number 1 creature. It very maximum, it would be like bottom of high tyrant, or maybe top of mid tyrant. I'd say would be a good placement for it after this buff. But that's all for Dilosarian. And now the second creature, which has a slightly smaller buff, is drum roll, please. Monolamoth. Yeah, I bet you weren't expecting Monolamoth, were you? Yeah, well, I've decided that Monolamoth should gain a very small buff. Not a huge one, just a small one. For resistances, we're starting with, instead of 25% damage over time resistance, 50% and 25 to rend. This automatically makes it better than this automatically gives it a much better matchup against Griganeth. And I've kind of buffed this thing to counter Griganeth, seeing as how many complaints are like, oh, Griganeth always like doesn't get stunned. It's actually rigged. It's 100. It's not as 50, but I've introduced this like buff to this creature to be a Griganeth counter, and in some cases, if it does get RNG, an Ampelorex counter as well, which is pretty crazy too. Disperse Cunning Strike and Bellowing Alert Rampage, the counter, and all of this stuff is the same. The only moves that have changed is Definite Impact and the Instant Quickening Charge. So yeah, Definite Impact no longer exists. It's now Ferocious Definite Impact. You start by increasing your damage by 25% for 2 turns, 4 attacks. You then target the one with the most positive effects. You do the definite, you get rid of all of their buffs and stuff. It's always nice. Remove their shield, all that gone. You bypass armor and then attack 1.5 thousand. Well, no, 1.5 times damage multiplier, which is over 2,000 even on base level, which is a nice little move as well. Overall, it's probably gonna go from like kind of mid tyrant to upper mid tyrant. If this was in the game, it wouldn't be crazy, but you know, I feel like it'd be good. Maybe top, yeah, probably top of mid tyrant. I would have thought. Moving on to creature number 3. So again, guys, this was probably another creature, another apex that you didn't expect that I was gonna like attempt to buff with a concept, and it's actually Draco Intrepidus. I know, I've decided to buff it. So, we haven't done that much for resistances. Instead of 50% swap prevention, it is now gained immunity, which really helps it a lot, but nothing else apart from that for resistances. All of these 3 moves, all 4 of these moves are the exact same. The only thing that's changed is this. It has now gained a counter. This is the counter prowl. I think one of the marsupial line Smilodon things has this. It's one of the best counters in the game. It's honestly incredible. And it's just going to help it so much. On escape, healing critical impact. You cleanse, reduce damage, and then you heal 0.5 of your damage stat. So, like, I don't know, maybe for the average, like, maybe 1,500 health for a well-built one. You cleanse all negative effects. You increase your crit chance by 100% for 2 turns, and then you attack them. So it's just critical impact, but you get some health. It's really nice. And yeah, this buff is kind of just... It's not really giving it specific counters to anything new. It's kind of just glorifying it a bit and helping it out in the meta. Overall, nothing crazy apart from that. I haven't altered stats or anything, really. But guys, the one that most people have probably been waiting for, if you saw the thumbnail, maybe you only saw it for a second, but you forgot. Don't look. Creature for the final one, which I'm excited for, and hope you are too. 3, 2, 1, and Indo-Chasion. Here we go, guys. Indo-Chasion. What has changed about my G Indo-Chasion? Well, let's see. The only thing that has changed for resistances I've now given it 33% to dot. Meaning now, so like moves like maximum ferocity, instead of like 40% dot for 2 turns, it's now like about what 20, 25 or something. 25, a little more over 2 turns, which is a lot more helpful. Instead of losing 80% of its health, it's going to lose about 55 to 60, which, you know, helps it just a little bit, you know. Moving on, we have the first move that has changed. This is the instant critical strike. Well, you see, the only thing I've changed is instead of increasing crit chance by 70, instead of increasing crit chance by 50%, I've now increased it by 75%, meaning it guarantees a crit. So no more RNG and no more annoyed people getting annoyed because they didn't get a 25% chance not to crit, which, you know, the cunning dodge impact has not changed. It's fine as it is. And same with breaking impact. But skirmish has now been replaced with fierce devouring skirmish. You target all opponents, break their shields, bypass armor, and attack 2 times 3,000 damage. Well, it could be more, especially if you go for the newly adapted illusion. Then devour heal 40%. So what you can do, illusion into this, you do about 14k without crit, maybe 18k. Let's say you do 14k, right? You heal 40% of that. Well, no, let's say you do 10,000 damage, right? 40% of that over 2 turns. So 40% is 4,000. You'll get that over 2 turns, which will be 2,000 health gained per turn, which is really nice too. The newly adapted illusion. I was tempted to make it a cooldown of 2, but actually you're probably just going to swap out or lose Indo-Chasion after, so there's not much point doing that. You cloak 2 times damage on the next attack, obviously. The 75% chance to dodge 60% of the attack, that's just out. The only thing I've adapted to illusion is it cleanses all negative effects. This is what Indochi needs, right? Am I right? Next up, I replace lure with maximum baiting counter. You see, Indoraptor unique, its ingredient has medium baiting counter. This is a hybrid, a remastered. It should have a better counter, so it's now got the maximum baiting counter. So you have what? Nearly 3k damage on your Indochan. Guess what? You do 3k on a counter attack if you hit. You increase your damage by 25% for 1 turn 1 attack. You reduce their damage by 25% for 1 turn 2 attack. Oh, it's beautiful. And yeah, guys, it's just going to make Indochan so much more valuable in battle. And I'd say this creature would probably go, I mean, it's like top of low tyrant. Indochan will probably go from a low tyrant to, I mean, you could argue high tyrant. This is the biggest buff yet. But I'd say maybe the top of mid tyrant again, like Dilozurian, like Monolamuth. They would kind of stick to mid, very max. One of them could reach bottom of high tyrant. Again, this buff, none of them are going to be the best creatures in the game. I have no intent to make them the best creatures in the game. But yeah, guys, that was a pretty long video. Well, no, it actually wasn't that long, but if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see more buffs, making new concepts, I have some new concepts of dinosaurs that I made. And also nerfing dinosaurs. So I have plans to nerf a Tromalistis, plans to, well, rebalance rebalance. So a Tromalistis, Magnoraptor, and Mastodonsaurus specifically need a very small rebalancing. Have a great day. Bye.